Hey everybody, here in Israel, the new month, the Hebrew month, there's the mystical tradition that people say the king is now in the fields, meaning that the truth, consciousness, God, whatever, however you want to phrase the supreme reality, the infinite truth, is more accessible at this stage. Now, it's really a kind of that's kind of like a kindergarten concept because all of us know, do we say that God or consciousness or infinite truth, does it change? Is it changing? It's like, is the sun changing, or is it the earth that's moving? So what's day and night? You know, if you expose yourself to the sun, this happens to you. If you don't expose yourself to the sun, this happens to you. But the sun itself doesn't change. So someone asked me for an alternative explanation of how I experience that the king is in the fields. And I don't want anyone to feel all of a sudden, well, maybe, but that's not the truth, because I really do feel that as soon as this month of Elul comes in, it is easier for you. Well, the word truth in the Hebrew language comes from the letters Aleph, Mem, Taf, which happens to be the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the middle letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and the last letter, meaning the deep mystical concepts of truth. The truth can be all the way here, it can be here, and it can be here, depending on for which person when. For someone that really is holding on to at their level and believes that, no, now from at this new month, God has changed, and now it's easier for me to connect, than for them at their level, it is true. And for the other people who think, God never changes, and it's really just an inspirational way of getting us to wake up and to kind of give a reality check to ourselves, that's true at that level. Let's just take the concept, though, of the king is in the fields. The fields are usually found when you leave the village, the town, the city. To get out of the town, the village, the city, let's say those are all our worldly attachments, right? In the city, you have more noise, more people, more, entertainment, more things that you can get attached to in this world. If you're really attached to the city or the village or the town, you won't make it out to the fields. And in the fields is where the king is found. What is that metaphor for us? Where our mental attachments are, we have to ask ourselves, what is first? And if you were attached to all of the fleeting desires and thoughts, it could be of the past, it could be of the future, it can be of yearning for experiences, it can be the fear of certain things, whatever it is, these are attachments that a person has to let go to get to the calmness of mind, beyond mind, which means that now I'm in the field because I've let it all go. And that's where I experience the king, meaning the consciousness, the ultimate infinite reality, God, whatever you want to call the things that we can't speak about, because each person is that. It's everywhere all the time, yet we're not aware of that, but we are that all the time. But we can't actually taste it if we haven't gone to the fields, and the king is in the fields. So we have to all know from our conditioning and in society, in our neighborhoods, whatever our schooling, whatever else it is, we get attached to a lot of things. It can even be spiritual, religious attachments of dreaming of my, the world to come, or, I'm doing something because I want God to give me this or give me that. You won't have the king if you're on that level. You have to go beyond that, beyond the wanting, and into the state, the calm state of being. And this is something that has to be daily practiced. And This isn't time to be honest with oneself if I am in the fields or if I'm stuck in the village, in the town, in the city. Meaning, what am I putting first in my life? What, if I can really be humble enough to pinpoint, what am I really yearning for? Spiritual people have to be careful. Religious people have to be careful because a lot of times the last place where the ego has its hold is in when a person takes on a spiritual or religious journey and someone starts doing it because, I want people to honor me, or, all of a sudden I want to have special powers, or I want to, I studied all these books, or I know all these things. And that's a very, very dangerous thing that for some people, that's really the toughest last thing that you have to leave off, because you can't be in a state of being thinking I know this or holding on to any concept, and it has to be trained, and you have to feel your natural state of being, your natural essence. You really are that right now. We all are that. Yet we've been convinced that we have to do all these things or really work hard, and then we'll be able to taste it. But we just have to learn to let it all go and be in that state of calm, be in the present moment, in that state of being. And the confusion is, a lot of people think, well, I can only do that if I run off to the mountains, or if I leave my job, or if I leave my family, or if I leave my responsibilities. And that never works. It only makes it worse. You have to deal with life where it is now. You keep doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but you drop off the attachment to it. You drop off the concept that I am the doer, and you become the seer, you become the witness, you become that eternal awareness of what's going on that actually makes you more loving because you're less attached to it all. And that's a very difficult concept of how am I not attached to anything, and how am I going to do it properly. And none of these things can really be explained in the book or by a master. They can point you, but you can't hold on to the book's pointing or the master's finger when they're guiding you. You have to go deeper into your own self-experience. So I bless everybody with a beautiful month of tasting, being in the fields where the king is, meaning you are always the king, yet you are stuck a lot of times attached to the town, village, the city, the noise, the things that aren't real, that make a lot of noise, that give this temporal satisfaction, that convince you if I only had that, things will be good, I'll be happy, but it's all fleeting. The only time to really have the king, which is, the king is a metaphor for to taste your eternal being that is beyond the body-mind experience. You have to let go of everything else. You can't be leaving the city lines and, isn't it great to be sitting by this river, but you're really thinking about what you want to do later in the city. You won't really have the river. So I'm blessing everyone with a beautiful month, and to have the patience and respect that truth for someone can be here, for you it can be here, and someone else all at the same time. They can be very different things at the same time. That is the truth.